All right, you know that sound. It is the Unfiltered band. That means another episode of Unfiltered, impromptu, short but sweet. This is episode number 39. My goodness. I'm calling this episode The Sun Sets on the Padres, because the sun is setting in the window and I don't have time to fix the glare because I'm getting this right up as soon as I can. So forgive me, you'll have to live with it. Hopefully my tan is mixing with the light. I don't have ringworm, so I guess everything is fine. Join the Unfiltered Revolution at Casey Stern. Jump in on YouTube, subscribe, and like all the videos and all that good stuff. This isn't about niceties. This is about just a disaster. I don't understand it. I said this before. I don't get, nor can I tell you, because I'm not an athlete, what it's like to have the feeling of the pressure of, I got to get back to my team. They need me. From a baseball sense, right? Or a sports sense. I don't understand that pressure. The desire and the pride, if you will, that Fernando Tatis goes through when he watches the team. They're not as good as the Dodgers. They're losing. He can't get back on the field. But I said this before, and you could go back and to flush all my thoughts. This is kind of like part 2. So part 1 you can get on my Twitter and also here at the YouTube channel and Believe's channel. It's already up there, 9 minutes or so from the initial announcement. So I'm not going to totally go back into that. But just to kind of flush that through over again, right? I don't know what these pressures are, but I think we all understand what this most likely is. What this most likely is Fernando Tatis Jr. wants to get back on the field. He's injured, and this is a quicker way to get back on the field. The thing we never talked about enough with steroids over the many years we've dealt with it is that it is about recouping and rehabilitation. It does not give you hand-eye coordination. It does not make you a great player. It does not make you hit home runs. A lot of people took a lot of creatine and andro and were fat sitting in their office because they didn't work out, all right? You don't just take steroids and all of a sudden, boom, there you go. It's not that easy. This isn't Popeye's spinach, all right? Yeah, not adamantium. Second adamantium reference in my podcast. Hello, Wolverine. It's not that easy, all right? But this dude, when 2 years ago, it looked like he was broken in half. And I remember being on air and saying, how is he getting back so quickly? It's amazing. He's like a cyborg. He's such a kid. And wow, good for him. What an athlete. And you know what? I'm not saying for sure that I know that he used something then. But you tell me human element-wise, you're not going back to that thinking, well, maybe that's how he got back so quick. And by the way, if you're in the category, let's play this out. And this is important. Because you're going to have a lot of people that are going to post conversations about what cluster ball is, or they're going to reread to you 18 times what Tatis wrote about Ringworm, which I'll get into in a second, or they're going to cite each other 100 times and God bless everyone in America in this business, and that's what we live in, right? But you know what we don't do? We don't have conversations like human beings. Let's have one now. Where the hell do you think he got it from? Fernando Tatis didn't, and certainly not Ringworm, but regardless, right? Even if he's looking to use, he ain't going on Google saying, what's good for me to get back quicker? A, B, C, D. Oh, I don't need D. Cluster balls there. 1-800 cluster ball. Hi, this is Fernando Tatis Jr. Could you send me do you have Amazon Prime? Do you work with this? How do you think he's getting it, people? Wake the hell up. You know how he's getting it? Somebody recommended who used it and masked it and got away with it. You don't think they can get away with this? You don't think for how to mask it? Look, there are people that were walking around with Wizenators and all kinds of crazy stuff when I was in college to try and mask marijuana. You don't think there's a way they can mask half of this crap? We also didn't think that, 10 years ago, if I would have told you, hey, you could right now your cousin in Nebraska while you eat sushi at the first baseline and watch a game. You think that was possible? Did you think that was going to happen? We find a way to do a lot of things in this world, right? So he found a way to mask it, but somebody gave it to him. Who the heck do you think it is? So the first time that you think, well, last time he came back from that injury so quickly, it couldn't have been he cheated, right? Somebody would have known. Well, who do you think gave this to him? A doctor? The ringworm specialist of San Diego? Hello, 1-800-RINGWORM. What do I do? Come on, man. Wake up. Wake up. Dude tried to get back from an injury quicker. And by the way, here's the crazy part, right? and I've lived this in my life. People crazy, right? People crazy. You know what's crazy? No one willing to admit this is what I did wrong. Most of the times when they go and like what a tangled like web we weave when we practice to deceive, you know that saying? Most of the time the crime of how people lie to get away from the initial crime is worse than the crime. How about if Fernando Tatis is crazy, right? Instead of saying I had some ringworm, and by the way, how aggressive was this ringworm? Like, I had to get on this ringworm, so I didn't have time to ask a doctor what was in this. You know, I called 1-800-RINGWORM, and they gave me this cluster ball. I mean, think about how dumb this sounds. What a crock. I mean, are you kidding me? How stupid do you think I am? But here's a guy who, why is it? It's ego. I don't want to admit to you that I did something because even though I know, and I would almost, I can't guarantee you, but I'd almost guarantee you common sense-wise, I think we'd all feel this way. Fernando Tatis doesn't need this to be great. He's great. He's freaking great. Roger Clemens didn't need it to be great. He needed it at that age to get back on the field. Okay? He needed it at that age to get back on the field. Fernando Tatis Jr. doesn't need it to be great. You know, he needed to get back on the field. But he knows steroids is linked to, I'm not good enough. I needed that. So I think I'm better than Soto. I think I'm better than Ohtani. And I think I'm better than this. And look, most of the guys who are worth anything at that level of athlete, they think they're the best. So I think I'm the best internally. And if I tell you that I did steroids, no matter what the reason, you're going to think I'm not as good as that guy. Now you're going to question all my numbers. So I got some ringworm instead. Really. 1-800-RINGWORM, I need some cluster ball. Come on, really? I mean, come on, man. Where'd you find a doctor? Arby's? Like, I mean, come on, man. I mean, how stupid do you think I am? But here's a guy, I mean, really, it's ridiculous. But here's a guy who most likely, if he told the truth, would get out of the court of public opinion quicker because nobody ever going to look at this dude the same. I'm never going to look at this dude the same. You're never going to look at this dude the same. His teammates ain't going to look at the dude the same. Soto, who knows he's great, looks at that guy and thinks, okay, that's competition for one of the best in baseball. He ain't looking at the guy the same. Neither is Trout, Ohtani, Acuna, or any Unya. Nobody. All right? Nobody. But you know what? He could have told the truth and said the following. How crazy is this? And this is, as I said, everyone knows people like this in their life. I know people like this in my life. Who did some terrible things, but what they did to get out of it was way worse than what they did in the first place. If they just would have told the truth, it's like, okay, that kind of sucks, but I can handle that. It's like, why the hell are you doing all this other crap? If he would have come out and said, I was in a spot where there's no excuse at all, and I feel terrible about making the worst decision of my life, and it's hurting me, and it's hurting my team, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to apologize to the fans enough, but I just wanted to get back on the field so quick, and I found out that this was a way I can get back there quicker, and I took it. Just tell me the truth. By the way, kids, 23, 24? We would have been like, okay, like I kind of get that, but we're afraid to be damn humans. We got to come up with, I got ringworm, 1-800-RINGWORM. Can I get some cluster ball? I mean, seriously. I want every person who watches this to go tweet out 1-800-RINGWORM. That's how dumb it is. Seriously. I mean, it's so stupid. But if this guy would have told the truth, it would have been totally fine. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Makes it worse for me. I would have rather him do that, wouldn't you? I would have been like, yeah, you know what? That's dumb, but I can't wait to see you play and you'll learn from this. You doing that now? Ringworm? Are you serious? Ringworm? I had a couple of people that I have no idea if this is accurate, but tweet me that they're doctors and that ringworm, you don't actually give steroids like this because it would be a deterrence from actually ridding it. I can't, thank God, I can't tell you because I have no idea if that's actually accurate. And I ain't Googling ringworm tonight when I get off this podcast. Sorry, I'm not. I'm going to beam up with these headphones to someplace I could forget about this 1-800-RINGWORM nonsense. But the guy could have just told the truth. It's terrible for the game. It's terrible for the Padres fans. It's terrible for everyone. You're trying to get back and get healthy. We kind of get it. Like, honestly, it's like, that's the crazy part about people who lie their way out of lies. It's like, and I've even had this in my life a couple times where it's like, okay, like, not at the time I didn't, but like afterwards, like, I kind of get like maybe why you were thinking this. But why didn't you just say it and just tell the truth and just live with it? My God. 1-800-RINGWORM. Can I get some cluster ball? Join the Unfiltered revolution. Tell your friends. Tell your Ringworm members. Ringworm? You want to be my latex? Ringworm?